Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rob Taylor with the Taylor Festival Choir and the Taylor Music Group. And as I mentioned last time, we're going to be interviewing one of our prominent artists that's associated with the Taylor Festival Choir every week. So this week we have the great Grace Call, who is a soprano that has been heard in Charleston many, many times. She is a wonderful opera singer, and she's an even more wonderful person. So we're just going to chat for a little bit today. So hi, Grace.
Hi, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So some of our audience members have heard you sing live. They also heard you offer up a recital that you did during the pandemic. It was you sang a little bit in your bedroom
Oh,
and you sang a little bit in your front room, and then you
yeah.
some stuff from another place. What was that?
A nice little Frankenstein recital there.
We very much appreciated that. What was that like making that? What was that? I mean, what was that like really weird?
Yeah, I don't miss all the recordings we had to do during the pandemic, I'll be honest.
The pandemic.
Because yeah, there's just something about live performance that just can't be replicated over a video. So
Yep.
I was happy that we were all able to share and do things just to stay sane and just to have some outlets and connect with our audience. But like I said, I do not miss those days.
I don't either. I remember we recorded The Road Home, and a bunch of the TFC members recorded their own little part at home.
Mm,
And
yep.
then I believe Stephen Hanna edited them all together. And then I literally conducted out here on my back patio to what I imagined it would go like in my head. And then y'all all had that to watch me as you sang your part. And then
Yeah,
you sang the solo in that.
that's
So
right.
I don't remember where you were, um, but that's still available.
Mhm.
That's gotten a lot of hits actually. So and that's going to be
Yeah.
one of the things we record soon, which brings me to the next big thing the TFC has is we're making a recording over the Labor Day weekend. It's something I've dreamt about for years now. The recording is a concept album. It's called Pathways to Healing. It's inspired by my wife's cancer journey and the cancer journey of a lot of other people that we've met along the way, as well as her doctors. The recording is
Hmm.
going to be dedicated to Michael Cogan, who is a real titan of supporting the arts here in Charleston, and he recently passed away of cancer. And so this all happens on Labor Day. You've made one recording with us before.
Hmm.
Enlighten our audience as to what it's like to make a choral recording. I think a lot of people, when they think of recordings, they think of a pop star in a sound booth with their headphones on and everything's multi-tracked. It's not like that
Yeah.
classical music, is it?
No. No, we do everything. It's as if there were, an audience there, but obviously there is no audience. But yeah, we just sing everything continuously through. There's no like patching up or anything that I know of. Um, but yeah, no, it's just with singing with recordings in general, there's this level of you want to make it as perfect as possible because this is going to be, around forever theoretically.
Yeah, that's right.
So you wanna do as well as you can. So it still has kind of that energy of a live performance almost because you have that adrenaline of like, okay, we got to get this right. Um, and just with singing in a choir in general, you have all of your ensemble mates to commiserate with, let's say, and we have each other to lean on when things get tough. But
And so
yeah, it's
and so we've
good.
got microphones all over the room. So we're in a
Hmm.
church with
Right.
microphones all over the room. So we are getting mics close to the choir, mics in the middle of the room, mics at the back of the room. And there is some digital editing that takes place in terms of you can say, the first minute and a half is take one, and then the next
Hmm.
30 seconds is take three. You can
Okay.
edit that way. But what we don't do is multi-track like a pop album where we can say we want Grace to be a little louder, and we want this person over here to be a little softer. It's all
Right.
sound goes into the mics, and that can't be changed. What it is just what it is. And it's the same when you conduct, it's the same when you do an orchestra recording. Now, when you do an opera recording, there is some multi-tracking that can go on because there's usually
Hmm.
an individual mic on each singer. But the days of recording big operas is almost gone because it's so expensive and you don't make your money back from making
Right.
those big giant recordings.
Live live performances are much more
Right.
likely to be recorded.
So like those days with Pavarotti and Marilla Frani in La Boheme,
Hmm.
recorded in Abbey Road Studio over in London. Those are
Yeah.
gone. Things are
Yeah.
either recorded completely live or in a live like situation, So it's a
That's right.
and we're doing music that is one of the pieces is by Chelsea Lowe, one of our choir members who's going to be in the room.
Hmm.
Last time
Yeah.
we recorded some things by Brian Galante, who was producing. And I remember you had some things to say last time about what it's like to sing music when the composer's in the room.
Hmm.
That's got to be a little bit of extra pressure. I know I feel it.
Yeah, it's definitely, you want to do their work a good service, and you want to perform at your best. When we're singing music of dead people, their opinion doesn't matter as much.
Unless,
But
unless you meditate and you hear their voice and you're like, well, Bach is displeased. So
yeah, yeah,
um,
he's always displeased with us, isn't he? No, but
So, so
yeah.
for those of you in the audience who haven't heard Grace sing, um, not to embarrass her, but she's world class as a soloist, and she is an opera singer by trade, and makes her living singing opera. She'll be down here to sing. I usually like to see you can only hear the. I usually like to be able to say you can only hear the TFC rosters in TFC, but you are going to be singing with the Charleston Symphony as the soprano soloist in Messiah this
Hmm.
coming Christmas. We're all
That's
really
right.
excited about that. But as an opera singer, what keeps you coming back to sing with TFC, and why do you love singing choral music since you are a professional soloist?
Well, I fell in love with singing and with music in a choir setting. That was the first exposure for me, was singing in choir at church when I
Mhm.
was like in second grade. So it's something I've been doing more than I've not been doing it. It's just been a part of my life. And then, the pressures sometimes of being a soloist and everything, um, can be tough. So it's nice to just come back to music in a way where there's not as much spotlight on you. It's just like you're part of this ocean of sound, and with these other people that you're all collaborating with. Um, so it brings it back to the collective rather than it always just be focusing on yourself and getting in that kind of self-conscious mode that tends to happen more prevalently when you're singing by yourself.
And
Yeah.
other than TFC being run by this goofy guy with a gray beard, is there anything that makes TFC special or different than other choirs or other experiences? I mean, is it unique in any way?
Well, it was, I started singing with you guys in 2015, and I just remember the first concert I did was the Mepkin Abbey concert in the summer of 2015. We did For a Requiem, and you had just suffered the loss of your mom, I believe.
Yeah.
And you were like obviously very emotional. And For a Requiem is it's a piece that's close to my heart as well. So there's already that in my being. And
Mhm.
then I don't know. I'm a crier, so as much as I can be a tough New Yorker at times, but I do have a soft spot. And singing with you guys, I was crying, and I think it was the In Paradisum movement. So that was a first for me, where I'm just like tears streaming down my face as I'm trying to sing. So from then on, I was like, okay, there's something to this group, uh, that you guys just have this sense of community, where we all just come together and, kind of open our hearts and sing.
Oh, I love you said that because we've always wanted to cultivate a sense of family in this
Yeah.
group. And it's hard when you're a project-based choir. So you're coming together Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then everybody goes away. It's probably easier to cultivate a family atmosphere when you have a school choir or a community choir and you're rehearsing every week or even every day. We come together just 4 or 5 times a year for 4 or 5 days. But the cool
Yeah.
thing is like you said, you've been singing with us since 2015. Lee Lingle's been singing with us since 2001. There's a lot of people who've been singing in this group for a long time, and the relationships have built over time. And I do think that there's a special um, family atmosphere that we really do try to cultivate. Now, you brought up the first concert you sang. I had forgotten that that was the very first concert you sang. That's
It
crazy.
was.
So let me just set this up, ladies and gentlemen. So we're doing the Fauré Requiem. It's Grace's first concert with us. She's coming to us from Cincinnati Conservatory. She's been recommended to us by some other people that sing in the choir. I barely knew you. I know you really well now and love you like family, but at that point, I barely knew you. And I think Corey Miller had been singing with us since 2010. So she was slated to sing the Pie Jesu solo. And
Yeah.
Mepkin Abbey is like an hour's drive northeast from Charleston. So we're all driving up there, and I get a call from Corey saying, I'm running out of voice. I've got enough voice to sing in the choir, but I don't think I can pull off the Pie Jesu. So I just had a oh my God moment. So I called you, and
Hmm.
if I recall correctly, I said, "Do you know the Pie Jesu?" And you said, "Well, I've never really studied it, but I've heard it a lot." And I said, "Can you do it in about an hour?" And you said, "I'll give it a shot." And so, what was going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, luckily it's a two page piece, right? 2 page
Yeah,
aria.
yeah.
So if it were any longer, I probably would have been putting up more of a fight. But no, it's a beautiful piece. I was definitely scared, and I think you saw that. You remember that I was just kind of like frozen there singing, just
You're
doing
such
the best I could.
You're such a poised performer now, so professional, so engaging, but you look like a deer in the headlights. But
Yeah,
the funny
yeah,
thing is, you did not sound like that. The sound
yeah,
was just glorious. And
yeah.
the legend of Grace Call began that day because we were all just like, what just happened? She just found out she was singing this 45 minutes ago, and you just killed it. It was so beautiful.
That that's showbiz, baby.
So, so you've got something new in your life that happened to you not too long ago. You're a mama now. Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
what's her name?
Yeah, her name is Corinne Danielle Carlson. She is going to be 7 months, which is unbelievable to me. Um, yeah, she's amazing. She's the best, and I'm obsessed with her. So she's pretty great. She's been on several flights already. Her first flight was to Charleston, so that was her inaugural flight. And that's my dog Rudy.
Rudy,
He was the firstborn and is still adjusting.
and Rudy is
So
named after who?
Rodolfo from La Boheme,
That's exactly right. That's
because I have a tenor husband and he couldn't help himself.
fantastic, fantastic dinner. Oh, by the way. So,
Yes.
last question. Um, you are, really establishing yourself career wise now, but like
Hmm.
anybody else, you had to train, you had to go to school.
Yeah.
Tell us where you first started out and where you got your training.
Yeah. So I started at Queens College, which is a city university in New York, and I got a really great education there. And then I went to Cincinnati Conservatory and I got my master's there as well as my artist diploma. So yeah, and then I continued on and did some young artist programs after that. I sang with Utah Opera and Santa Fe Opera, Des Moines Metro Opera, and a few others. But yeah, so that's kind of been my trajectory so far.
Weren't you in a production of The Tenderland by Aaron Copland that won a lot of awards?
I'm not sure if it won awards or
I
not,
thought I
but
saw that it was, or maybe it was nominated for awards. I can't remember what I saw.
oh, there the so I was in a couple productions with Des Moines because they always collaborate with the Iowa Public TV, like it's kind of their PBS affiliate, and
Wow.
they do a live streamed, or not live stream, they record the performance and then they show it at a later date. So we were nominated for Emmys
Wow.
a couple times, which was pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Grace. Well, thank you for joining us today. I could talk to you all day long, but we'll wrap this up, and everybody's going to hear this album. Grace is going to be in town very soon. We'll literally rehearse on a Friday and a Saturday. Then on a Saturday night, you're going to get to hear Grace in a gala fundraiser that we're doing to honor Ellen Morrill and Valerie Morris, two of Charleston's most venerated arts producers. So it's an evening of duets to celebrate this arts producing duo. I know you're doing the flower duet from Loch May with Maria
Hmm.
Miller. Have you decided what else you're going to sing, or is that still kind of
I
TBA?
don't know. Yeah, TBA. I need to talk with David about that and see what he wants to
That's
do.
going to be an event that you'll get information about, and you can get tickets on our website. It's an evening that's going to have desserts, coconut cake from Peninsula Grill, champagne. It'll be a $50 ticket, and Grace is not the only young opera singer in our group. So we've got some terrific singers that you'll hear that evening. So we hope that you'll come to the gala, and then we hope that you will buy the recording when it comes out. And then you're going to get to hear Grace some more in Charleston. We're not going to let Grace get so big she quits coming back to Charleston. So anyway, thank you so much, Grace.
Thank you, Rob.